Stuff and things. My name is George.
My name is Tom.
And my name is Adam.
And with our powers combined, we are Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com. It's a podcast that keeps podding while everything is falling apart.
It's the one thing you can rely on. Like, world hunger won't get solved. The stock market instability won't get solved. Political chaos in various countries won't get solved. But we'll keep podding.
Yeah.
Is that the doing word of
Podding?
podcasting? Is
I
to pod?
mean,
To
the
keep
verb?
podding?
My,
The verb?
my
Adjective?
wife and
I
I
don't know.
do refer to it that way. So we just go like, oh, when are you podding today or something? But hearing it out of someone else's mouth, I suddenly realize how
Stupid
weird
it sounds.
that
Yeah,
is.
that sounds horrible. I never want to say words
yeah.
ever again. I'm just going to sit here and cry while the US gets itself into another desert forever war.
A friend of the show, Polyverse, is writing in big news to cover this week, as usual, unfortunately. Yes, Polyverse, we are cursed with knowledge like Cassandra. There's always something to talk about, unfortunately, in the world of geopolitics. So, and boy, will we be talking about it. So, top story. This is where I would normally sing the Bomb Iran song, the version of Barbaran, which is talking about bombing Iran. But in this case, the US has actually bombed Iran, and
Again.
like dozens of school children are dead. And I don't really have, it's not funny. So I'm just going to like sidestep that and just start talking about all of the awful things that the colonialist expansionist empire has embarked on this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny in the sense of let's preemptively strike to stop wars that we are now starting. Like,
Wasn't he the candidate of peace? Wasn't he the board of peace? Maybe we've
Yeah.
misread it. It's board of peace, BORED.
ED, yeah. I mean,
Board
the
of peace.
the
Really
board of peace
sleepy.
only like met for the first time like recently.
Oh, you gotta give him a chance.
And then Israel and the US bomb Iran. So
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Belarus, the stalwart peacemaker of the
Yeah.
21st century.
Featuring
Belarus.
Mohammed Bonesaw bin Salman. The absolutely impeccable, the unimpeachable board of peace. So yeah, the US, as we were talking about last week, had been positioning a bunch of assets sort of in and around Europe. We expected, and everyone else were not, not actual Cassandras. We can't actually tell the future, but it turns out when you move aircraft carriers near the Strait of Hormuz, it's like it can only mean one thing when he gets that look in his eye. The thing that the little twinkle in Donald Trump's eye this week was Operation Epstein Fury. Forget about all those files you heard about. We're going to bomb Iran, which is a thing that he's talked about. He said, like, Obama's just so unpopular, but all he needs to do is announce a war on Iran and everyone will forget about it. And he's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, Donald, that's an incredible idea. You're a genius.
yeah, did he read his old tweets? Because I've just seen one going
This
round, which
motherfucker
is
doesn't
like,
read. We've
Yeah,
established
yeah.
this.
Like, yeah, he literally said, like, now that Obama's polls are dipping, you watch. He's gonna bomb Libya or Iran, and he's desperate. And then people are like, "Hey, Donald, there's always a tweet."
Libya's gone now, so I guess he only had one option. No,
wasn't-
he
it
doesn't
wasn't a
read.
tweet, it was also a video of that, of him actually
Yeah.
doing an interview.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it,
and saying
it
stuff as well. It's just amazing that he's been.
Yeah, the
saying
man has no
this-
poker face whatsoever. It's just like I've got a 2 and a 7 offsuit, and it's like, why would you lie about that? I guess that's
like,
true because
yeah.
you're saying it all out loud. So
Why is
I
this
guess
guy
all in.
sticking a sword in his head? Oh, so
Yeah.
you've got a king. All right, great.
Yeah. So, like, it's just, I just, okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so what has happened? The US and Israel, because Israel want to get involved, have
Oh mate,
struck-
man, just fucking give him an excuse. Just,
Have it for the
just
last-
give him an excuse to bomb Iran.
for the last 24 hours been bombing and striking Iran with missile strikes, and various targeting, ballistic missile sites, air defenses, and other.
Oh, and a little girl's
infrastructure.
school. Whoopsie poopsie. Between 50 and 80 children murdered. Cool.
I was waiting to see whether
What
that
just
had been...
war starts with, hey, let's bomb a school? Which
waiting
one
to
was
see
that?
whether that had been independently verified. I'm not sure, to be honest. It may well have been. I don't know.
Well, I've been seeing media
But that
sources
is
talking about
that
it.
is
so.
what Iran has said at the UN.
I saw a photo.
Security Council
I saw a
today.
video of parents, sort of crying out, pretty upset that their children were dead, and a
So
backpack
probably
covered in
real.
blood. So it seems pretty real.
All I saw was a couple of This is the thing. It's an evolving.
Who knows? I mean,
situation. So we're saying stuff
Nano
to you
Banana
now.
2 dropped this week, so who the fuck knows?
Exactly right. I'm just a little bit. Whenever these conflicts break out, there is it's hard to verify information. So I was a little skeptical of that. But yeah, if there is footage of that, then that sounds real. So
That's what's being
and
reported. So.
Yeah, and I don't know why or how yet. There's very little information. But what we do
Honestly,
know
bro,
is that
I don't think there's any fucking. They say that with all this Palantir technology, that with this face scanning, they can hit a fucking ant's arsehole from 100 yards, without even looking. These lasers that the fucking Pentagon has that they were firing over Arizona last week to shoot Mylar balloons out of the air that can hit a penny at fucking, a quarter of a mile distance. Somehow we've got the most advanced facial recognition targeting systems in the world, but every now and then a bomb just oopsie poopsie fucking drops on a school like it does in Gaza. Like, oh no, it's a total accident. I don't know what happened. I thought you were supposed to be pulling the bomb doors. I guess we fucked up. I'm such a fuckhead.
Israel-
Those laser machines cannot yet read the time on our wristwatches.
Not yet.
That's what they're missing. Once
In
they've
the words
cracked
of Gene
that,
Hackman. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the targeting systems probably can tell the time on your wristwatch. It's just the Israelis don't really care.
Those schoolgirls look armed. Get them. What are those backpacks? There got to be bombs in there.
So what we do know is that there's been numerous strikes around there, continuing. There are several waves happening. We do know that the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been killed, and that's been now confirmed by his Iranian state television as well.
Yeah. As well as like his, children and
Chief of staff,
grandkids, and other just collateral bystanders murdered by
they
the
took out his
regime.
compound.
Yeah, that is weird.
So-
That they knew exactly where that was. That's interesting. Okay, they didn't bomb the milk bar down the road. That's interesting.
So now, this will continue. Donald Trump has said that this will continue for days. And maybe a couple
They
of
just
weeks.
announced another round of bombings like a couple of hours ago.
Yeah. In response, Iran has been targeting various Middle Eastern countries, Arab states, Gulf states, with ballistic missiles, including United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait.
Someone died in it. In
Saudi Arabia.
Riyadh. Was it not the Riyadh airport or the international airport in the UAE?
in Dubai.
Yes.
It was in Dubai.
Because the hotel, I've forgotten the name of the hotel also.
The Palms,
Some collateral
on the
damage.
Palm Islands.
Yeah, the 7-star hotel or whatever.
Yeah. So what they're doing there is basically they know that, and they have tried to hit Israel a few times, but they know from the previous outing with Israel, it's actually most of those missiles will get intercepted.
The Iron
so now
Dome,
they're targeting now soft targets to try and put pressure on Israel and the US to see if people will react or countries will react to that.
Yeah, if we're going to suffer and have to deal with this, you guys are going to have to suffer and deal with it as well, I guess is their thought.
Yeah.
But most of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the Revolutionary Council, is still intact, is still operative, and it's unlike
They
the
had succession
Venezuelan
plans in place,
regime. Yeah, they've got succession plans in place. They've got millions and millions of people within there. I think it's like 93 million people population that are part of the state apparatus that are armed. Like, it's not a situation of Venezuela where the country has fallen into the state of such disrepair that the authoritarian state is unable to function, and you can just come in and decapitate.
In Venezuela, they kind of...
Well, that's what I'm saying. In
Still
Venezuela, well, because they're sending barrels. The US got their first 80 million barrels of Venezuelan oil. So, yeah, they're happy to keep the state functioning for the purposes of give me my fucking oil, please.
Yeah.
But, Iran, whilst it does sit on massive oil reserves, has a really embedded, Iranian revolutionary, military apparatus that's baked into many layers of the society there. And whilst they are unpopular at the moment. They've been going through an uprising and riots and protests, and thousands of people were killed. This is like weeks ago. And Donald Trump's like, rise up and get your oppressors. The US is right behind you. And then nothing happened. Just thousands of people got executed as a result. I shouldn't laugh.
Well-
That's horrible. But like, just classic
Well, now
Trump.
something's happened.
Well, yeah, but not for the
yes.
benefit of the Iranian people. It's because Donald Trump
Well-
reckons he can fucking do whatever he wants now. He's emboldened, right?
This is the thing, is that Trump is on Twitter. I mean, this is the thing, is there's probably an internet blackout in Iran. I'm
I think
assuming
there
there
is.
probably
I
would
saw,
be.
like,
So
reports
Donald
of,
Trump
like,
tweeting is
4% of
probably
the country
not
has
really
internet.
going to have the effect that he thinks it's going to have.
It
Whereas
never
he
does.
he is encouraging people to rise up and overthrow the Iranian people. Interestingly, Australia and various other Western countries have also said, we support the people of Iran, but you guys need to figure it out yourself, which is, as George said, it is insane to suggest that, given the people do not have any ways or means of really
Of doing that.
that they're not armed, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, the populace isn't armed. The state is armed. And that's why they have these brutal crackdowns, like after Mahsa Amini, that girl, you know, who wasn't wearing a burqa, got pulled in and was killed in custody, that so many people died in those protests because the state is very well armed and the people are not, right? Which is deliberate. That's an authoritarian regime. So we've got Donald Trump speaking. I just want to play the first couple of minutes because there's like, you know, it's insane. And then we'll play like the last 1 minute. So just bear with me.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime.
Okay, so the fact that there's imminent threats is obviously nonsense because didn't you guys say that you obliterated all of their nuclear facilities like a couple of months ago? Like, wasn't that the whole thing of bombing the the place at Fordo? Like, it's like, and now they got incredible ballistic missiles that could reach the US. It's like they don't have nukes. They weren't presenting any kind. Like, yeah, they are a state sponsor of terror, and they're like, the regime is horrible and brutal.
Nothing's changed, though.
Nothing's changed from a week ago. So it's like, what this preemptive strike against maybe something happening potentially in the future.
A vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days.
Yeah, I mean, I know we watched Argo, but that was like 50 years ago, right? So, like, why is this salient now?
In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole.
I looked this up. They were not. That was Al-Qaeda. Different Browns, Donald.
Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight.
No president was ever as batshit crazy as to launch a third forever war in the Middle East, but you got me now, baby.
Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all.
This is the moment. Damn all the odds.
I'm just picturing the opening of Team America World Police
Yeah.
when they're all like, don't worry, everyone here in Paris, everything's good. And they're all just like dumbfounded staring at the carnage. To be
Yeah,
like,
because they've blown everything up.
thanks, I guess. Like that line of like, okay, after we're done, take over the government.
All right,
It's
take
just-
it. Tag in, boys. Coach says you're up.
Also, not the point, but the USA hat that he's just wearing through all of that. One, like, looking like he's hiding himself in the shadows like he's Deep Throat. Like, you know, no one knows who I am. But also, can you imagine if
if you ask
other...
Bubba, he is Deep Throat.
True, but if you can you imagine any other world leader just doing that? Like, what if Macron just turned up to a press conference with France written
Yeah,
across his hat?
In case you forget which country you're
It
from.
looks so stupid.
Yeah, well, he did that. You know, as we all know, American dictatorships should announce their voluntary, illegal, unconstitutional wars of choice in the traditional headwear of the American establishment with a cowboy hat. That's how it's done.
That's true.
They say, "Hey, watch this drive."
Yeah, cowboy hat riding the bomb down.
Yeah,
Doctor Strangelove style.
yeah, Doctor Strangelove, exactly.
Anyway, so I
It's
know
a
they
surprisingly, actually, an increasingly apt metaphor as time goes on, Tom.
while Donald Trump may want the Iranian people to rise up and seize control of their government, it's not clear how that will happen.
Adam, the king of understatement. It is not clear. And that's his plan, by the way. The plan is, plan A through Z is, and then everyone's going to rise up and support the Targaryens and insist that I be returned to power. You know, it's like, no, that never happens, bro. There's not like some secret, you know, fucking name
There's
one
a-
instance where the US has started overthrown someone in the Middle East or fucking anywhere for that matter, in South, you know, Latin America or wherever, through a war of choice to topple a regime. And then it's just like worked out really good. Like it's never once happened.
No.
Like,
Even-
on what is this assumption based?
Even I was talking to a friend about this earlier today. Like, so Saddam Hussein, Gulf War, the US.
Here we go. History time, boys.
The US, as an example, massive superior force, kicked him out of Kuwait, pushed him back into Iraq,
Huge, incredible force, strong bodies, big boys.
took out one of the largest armies in the world, reduced its size considerably.
In a short time, the first,
In a short time,
the first
Gulf War.
Gulf War, yeah.
They looked at overthrowing Saddam and went, it's too hard.
Nah, don't worry about
Like, we can't do that. Like,
it. If we get in
he-
there
Saddam
and
was
we
able-
do debathification and it's kind of like
Right.
reduce the whole administrative state to rubble, it's going to be a fucking headache. We'll be stuck in there for 20 years. Let's just not bother. And then George W. Bush was like, yeah, go for 2.0. Let's go, baby. Like,
but this is the thing: is that Afghanistan, Iraq, as the prime examples. Going back, a step. Saddam Hussein was able to retain power. Like, even though he'd had a massive defeat, I think there was potentially a similar thing, an expectation that maybe the Ba'ath Party would have been overthrown, or maybe it was more of a calculation of, well, let's keep a strong man in power because the destabilization would be worse for the region. Maybe a
and
bit
they
of
were
both,
right.
perhaps.
And they were right.
Maybe a
as it
bit of
turns
both.
out.
The fact is, Saddam was able to withhold, able to hold on to power because he still had forces at his disposal, still had infrastructure on the ground.
Same thing with Assad. He hung on for the longest time for that exact
Yeah.
same region because he was kind of,
Yeah.
you know, as a strong man, or at least his claim is that he was holding the place together, right? And you know, you could see what happened in adventurist, expansionist, you know, sort of American foreign policy, like with Libya. Where it's like the Americans got in there and they're like, yeah, we're just going to like no-fly zone. It's going to be fucking sick. We'll just get in and out, 2 days, quick adventure.
Libya is
you
a
know,
good example
22
of how-
minutes in and out. And now it's a fucking failed state, right? Like when has this ever worked in recent history? Like the
only
whole reason we're
time-
in this mess with Iran is because the CIA overthrew fucking Mossadegh
Shah.
in Iran. No, before the Shah.
Oh, before that,
overthrew
yes, correct, yeah.
Mossadegh in 53 or whatever it was, early 50s.
But he was a socialist, George.
Oh, he wanted to, sort of have modest changes in the social welfare net, and the Americans like, fucking communism. I'll see you there, mate. And they said, no, thank you to that. Overthrow him. That's how you get the Shah. The Shah's installed. Everyone hates the Shah. That's how you get the Iranian Revolutionary Guard and their whole revolution in the 70s. You guys are so bad at this. Every time you've tried this fucking regime change, you've fucked it up. What makes you think a third Desert Forever war
Pinochet worked out all right. That was fine.
From the
Pinochet
guy who
worked out great.
campaigned on no foreign wars?
He's such a peace
George,
building guy.
George, this time they've got Pete Hegseth. That's what they were missing for 70
With
years.
More hair gel. More hair gel.
Yeah.
All they needed was a drunk in charge of the armed forces. That's all it took.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
And he ran this all from a fundraiser. I fucking shit you not, bro. Trump ran this operation from Mar-a-Lago, where he was conducting a $1 million a plate fundraiser, looking like fucking Marie Antoinette himself, bathed in gold, whilst the country is going to war. It is like you could not create a starker. Like if you put that in a film, people would be like, "Nah, it's a bit much." But
I fucking hope he was fundraising to rebuild schools in Tehran.
He was not. in fact.
Oh, okay.
He was not.
The other thing I found interesting is that there's obviously a lot of expats, and that's the information we have available, right? Are the reactions of expats around the world, because they're the ones that are able to speak.
You're saying Iranian expats that
Correct.
are abroad elsewhere.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Persian people who are abroad.
Yeah.
They are all. There's a real movement at the moment, particularly in Melbourne here in Australia. There was a gathering of like several hundred people on Parliament steps earlier today, where they want the Shah's son, the Crown
Reza
Prince.
Pahlavi. Yeah, I don't know how
reinstated.
real
But
that is.
And this is the thing: is that the people that are here, and welcome, not welcome. People who've been here for like 40 years, but like the people here and in other parts of the world that support the Shah are either people that left Iran because of
The revolution.
persecution, the revolution,
Yeah.
or they are the children of the people that left because of the revolution, right? So they are going to have a particular view on it. I often wonder, I'm like, does everyone in Iran really hate the regime? Like, is it like,
Just you wait, the Targaryens will
is it
come
like
in and will be
is it like
greeted as
10
heroes.
No, but listen, is it like 10% of the? I don't know. I would be very interested to see some more information on this. Is it like 10% of the population are for the regime and 90% against, or is it something closer to the middle?
Yeah, you'd
like
wonder
50-50.
what the US and Israel or whatever's
The-
intel on that is, right?
The impression that I get
how
from
do
mass
you-
protests is that knowing, from like the Mesa Amini protests and things like that, people know that if they protest in Iran, they are likely to get arrested, potentially killed for participating in those sort of protests. So I think that really indicates to me that there is a broader sentiment of antipathy towards the Iranian regime.
Because otherwise,
Now-
why would they risk it?
Why would you risk it if you didn't feel that? And
Yeah.
it's like every other political kind of geographical disbursement. People in Tehran and the city centers are a bit more metropolitan, a bit more modern, a bit more leftist. The people in the rural, sort of outskirts are a little bit more
Yeah.
conservative and religious. And so there's that dichotomy there as well. The impression I get is that broadly people are anti-regime. But again, there's no polling in numbers on this because you can't poll. Hello, it's George from the Australia Data Centre. Just giving you a buzz to just figure out how do you feel about bringing the Shah back? What do you reckon?
Yeah,
1 to
and
5.
And this is the thing: is that while people may not like the Revolutionary Guard, what's to say that the Shah is the best solution?
Well, the Shah is no
that people
solution. The
want?
guy's been out of the country for
Right.
50 years since the revolution. He's an old man now, right? So the idea that you would just bring Shah 2.0, this time it's personal back, like not an option, I think. I think most people are probably broadly anti-regime,
Yeah,
but I don't think there's a good idea of, there's no opposition movement, so there's no one to replace them with, right? So there's this idea of Trump's that like, we'll just get in there, fuck everything up pretty good, and then you guys will sort out the whole democracy thing. It's like we've seen time and time again, Iraq, You know, like it just simply does
Whoa.
not work that way. What you get is you get either a forever war where you get a bunch of people that are intractable and the regime fights back and they
Some sort of
empty
civil
the
war
clip.
and-
They do everything that they can to hurt everyone around them and hang on for as long as possible because it's an existential threat to them. If they die, if the regime dies, everything goes with me. Or yeah, they managed to topple the regime, and then it's just a failed state. Like there's a power vacuum. You have warring tribes and clans fighting for power. You know, different sort of power brokers trying to sort of ascend to power themselves. You have some sort of military coup situation. Like it doesn't.
The
ever end in-
religious aspect
and then
is. I know you're just
liberal democracy. Like
Yeah, because like you've got to remember that like Iran's a mostly Shia state, obviously surrounded by Sunni neighbors in various areas. Like they're shooting at Saudi Arabia, which is a Sunni state. Like, are they trying to start a like?
this is
Shia
what you
uprising?
you wanted a
Like-
broader regional conflict. This is how you get a broader regional conflict. This is how it happens, right? Like this is the playbook for that.
So, I don't like what's happening, but it's.
Oh, you
know,
don't?
not to say that I support the Iranian
Not a fan?
regime. I don't like the Iranian regime.
You don't need to
I
do the
just-
throat clearing. Okay, we know the Iranian regime is bad guys. Okay, we don't need to go and go, who is Ayatollah Khomeini? And is he really a piece of shit like we
Yeah.
think he is? Yes, he is a piece of shit. However,
Yeah.
it is unconstitutional. It is illegal to launch a war of choice like this. It's the exact thing that the Americans have been criticizing the Russians over with Ukraine. It's the exact, thing that like they've lost all moral authority now because they've executed multiple wars of choice in multiple months, right? What war of choice is it this week? We're heading into March. Who's next? Okay, it sounds like Cuba might be on the menu for April. So it's unconstitutional. You can't go and just declare war on people, right? You need an act of Congress to declare war. They're just not seeking that for whatever reason. I think it was Ro Khanna has moved a motion in Congress for next week to be like, you can't do a war unless we
Yeah,
say
yeah.
so. Like, come on now.
Yeah, just doing
Well,
a motion of, you bombed Iran and
Stop
we're gonna
it.
frown at you.
Stop it.
That's why he framed
so
it as self-defense. It's an imminent threat, so we're defending
Yeah,
ourselves.
preemptive self-defense
what I was-
for a
that's
thing
what I
that
was saying,
wasn't going to happen for capabilities they don't have.
That's what I was saying to you guys earlier today before we began potting. That that like the precedent that this kind of sets, if like by their logic and respect or the complete lack thereof of international law, shows that like Iran would have been totally justified just trying to blow up Israel because
If
we
everyone's
talk-
allowed to preemptively strike
If
each
you're
other,
talking about,
then the
like,
whole
hey,
world's at war.
Yeah, people have been talking about maybe like that we're not friends. Oh, better do something before they do something. Like, yeah, you've just completely justified like just taking out places.
So it's immoral, it's illegal, and we know as well. Third,
not
that there's
effective.
it's not effective. But like, three, it's not effective. But like four, what is the objective? Like, what are they actually trying to do? Were they just trying to
They're
kill
trying to
Khomeini?
remove-
They're
I
trying
mean,
to
what they've
decapitate the whole
said-
government. Like,
what
there's
they've
no
said-
clear like rationale even for what they mentioned. Fucking, the hostages being held in the late 70s. So it's like, well, how does that have
Okay.
any? Or like roadside
So-
bombs being detonated in the early 2000s. Like, so how is that? Why is that a justification? It's not.
So what they said in the UN earlier today, which is Waltz, who's the UN ambassador for the United States, basically said it was about taking out their ballistic missile capability to stop.
So they settled on a rationale. Oh, that's good at least. So they've got a lie that they can tell at least. That's good.
But it's again, it's framed.
But the
as a
ICBMs,
self-defense thing.
which can't reach any part of America, is that
No,
correct?
but they can reach the bases in the area, which is the justification.
Oh,
right?
which are immediately around them, which conventional missiles can also do. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, because isn't
Uh,
that what Iran has already done in
Done-
retaliation?
done?
Tried to bomb those US.
Well,
Could you
the-
imagine?
the
Could you
missiles? The
imagine?
missiles that are hitting these areas are the same ones they're trying to take out under this justification, right? So it's like by attacking them and you're making them shoot back at you to give you the justification. to be
The
able to
Americans
take them.
started this. They started it, and then Iran retaliated. Could you imagine what it would be like in our media or the American media if Iran preemptively struck the US,
That's what I mean.
killing
like
dozens of school children. Could you imagine the
blowing up
incandescent?
the White House, like taking out the president.
Yeah.
Like,
Could you imagine what the response would be? It would be like, this is an act of terror. We got to fucking kill these guys. Like, we're going to wipe them off the face. We know what happened because it happened in 9/11. We're going to kill them. We're going to kill anyone who harbored them. Like, don't fuck with us. Like, oh, we'll come and get you, right? Like, and everyone in the Western world was all for America exercising whatever retributive justice they wanted to in that moment because they had been attacked for no fucking reason, right? So how do you think the Iranian lives, now forget all the American service members that might die in this engagement needlessly for a dumb forever war that you might have just started. But like, think of the people on the ground, innocent civilians, people, literal children. Like as someone who is a father of a child, just to see that picture of the bloodstained backpack. It was like a little pink backpack. Clearly some fucking like 6-year-old kid was wearing to school. And I look at that backpack and look at my son's fucking backpack. And I think that's the same thing. They could be the same person. They're just people. They're literal children. Like what the fuck is wrong with these people? They're kids. There's nothing more innocent than a fucking child. What is wrong with you? Ah!
So this will probably continue for another number of days.
I mean,
potentially weeks, depending on how successful they are at
within
their
the last
objectives.
hour, people in Baghdad and in Pakistan are trying to break into the US embassies.
Well,
Like,
this is the thing.
protesters are
Yeah, no, this is
storming.
good for stability. That the president was going to keep us all out of all of these foreign wars, and then Anthony Albanese goes there and does his like, well, the Iranians are like bad guys, sort of thing. So, like,
But it's
yeah,
also
we'll see how we
like,
go.
We support them.
Fucking
We
hell,
support
Anthony.
we support the US because I'm Anthony Albanese and I'm spineless. I'm not the coalition though, and that's why you all like me still.
We just really need those fucking American submarines. So whatever they do is okay with me.
Yeah, fuck you, Albanese.
Every other Western leader did the same thing, though, to be fair.
Mark Carney did, which I thought was surprising considering his speech at Davos.
So did Macron. So it's like,
Oh, did he? The last I saw of Macron was him going, "Whoa, we need to convene like the Security Council to be like, what the fuck are you doing?"
but they all open it with, no one likes.
Yeah, they do the throat clearing. Everyone, Rod's a really bad guy. You know, they do all the fucking
do
throat
what I
clearing
just
and
did.
stuff. So Rod's really bad. They're terrible guys. We don't like to see him succeed. They all suck ass. But like, procedurally, the way you rolled this out was like yucky. It's like, no.
You can't talk about it like you no longer want to invite Steve to pub trivia.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be like, look, we all
love
agree,
Steve.
We all agree Steve's a bit of a cunt. But like how you like, I'm sorry for what he said last week, but like how you just like publicly removed him from the weekly group chat. It wasn't polite.
It wasn't nice how you did it.
Yeah.
You know, that seems to be the argument that most in the Democratic Party are leveling. They're like, oh, I should have come through Congress. They didn't do it right. And it's like, no, that's not the argument. The argument is that you have a fascist authoritarian leader who's embarking on yet another pointless desert war to distract from the additional rape allegations that came to light against him this week because he's a fucking psychopath. We are not a country that needs to be a colonialist, imperialist, expansionist empire because that is against the values upon which this country was founded, should be the message. And yet they're like, but what about Section 14B? Did you consider you got to tell Congress before you shoot your little bang bangs?
Yeah.
That's not right. You didn't do it in the right order. And it's like, that's not a message that the public wants to hear right now. No one
Chuck
cares about
Schumer
that.
needs a chance to write a letter and scout.
We're writing a very strongly worded letter. I'm sending it by a post. So the White House should have it in 2 to 4 business days.
The other thing to note about this whole situation is that the entire Middle Eastern airspace has been closed. Middle East is obviously
The Strait of
important.
Hormuz, which 20% of the oil flows through.
Yeah.
Is presumably going to be cut off. I mean, what shipping company in their right mind would send an
So,
oil tanker through even if it weren't
Iran has
closed?
been issuing, well, at least one thing I saw said that they've been issuing radio broadcasts saying for ships not to go through the area. But
Don't worry, bro. We're going around. Don't worry about it at all.
Yeah, wasn't
part of what
gonna.
the Americans, the other strategic objective, which they haven't specifically spoken about, which is assumed by most analysts, is that the part of the military strikes will be to take out the naval assets to keep the Strait of Hormuz open.
Yeah.
Now, that may... Here's the thing. Until some of this conflict is wound down, this may take weeks. Like you may take out some of their ballistic missiles, but like the mopping up to completely secure the route will take some time. Not to mention the fact that, the Middle East is an important stopover point between Asia and Europe. So to have that entire, not just one country, the entire Middle Eastern airspace
whole
to be
region.
closed down indefinitely.
A Chinese national died at an airport, just like minding his own fucking business, and some fucking debris or some shit falls through the ceiling and fucking murks him. Like, are people going to be comfortable going through that fucking airport now? You know what I mean?
Well, no, but like they're not. This is the point: is they're not going to be. So it's like they haven't got the choice. There are people in Australia that are trying to get back to the UK that can't.
Yeah, I went through Qatar to get to the UK.
You have to go over the Middle East. No matter, even if you stop over in Singapore and then go through, you still have to cross
go that
over
way.
Middle Eastern airspace, right?
In fact,
my point
actually,
being
Israel
is-
bombed Qatar while I was there. I now remember.
So my point being here is that, this will affect the world economy. Is going to fucking go into I don't know.
Yeah,
what's gonna
watch
happen.
out for your petrol prices. Donald Trump saying petrol's at $1.68 a gallon, whatever the fuck he said, lied during his fucking State of the Union address. Yeah, it's not going to be that tomorrow. Let me guarantee it.
And not to mention, the markets will freak out, but also, just logistics. Like if you want to travel to go and see family, if you want to get mail delivered, if you want to get your whiz bang cars delivered from Europe to Asia or vice versa, like the goods and services need to go through that region. And just like when the fucking boat got stuck in the Suez Canal,
Yeah, it was like an international incident.
Yeah, this is the same sort of thing. So shit will be bad. You'll feel this. You may think, it's on the other side of the world, but you're going to feel this.
I think petrol prices are going to be the most immediate.
That'll be the first thing people will notice.
I feel like I'm lagging out a bit here, so I'm going to let you guys talk and transition to the next story, which is the U.S. Justice Department apparently might be withholding Trump-related Epstein files.
What? A top Democrat on the congressional committee investigating Jeffrey Epstein has accused the U.S. Justice Department of withholding files containing allegations of sexual abuse of a minor made against President Donald Trump. I say accused, but they definitely are withholding them. Robert Garcia, who sits on the House Oversight Committee, said he had personally viewed documents containing the allegations that had not been made public. In response, the Justice Department said, "Nothing has been deleted," in all caps, adding the documents were withheld only if there were duplicates privileged or part of an ongoing federal investigation. As we've talked about on the show, that's horseshit. Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing in relation to the Epstein case and has recently said that he has been totally exonerated, which is hilarious. On Thursday, the Justice Department said that files flagged to the agency related to documents produced to Ghislaine Maxwell in discovery of her criminal case that they claim appear to be missing will be reviewed by the department. Should any document have been found to be improperly tagged in the review process and is responsive to the act, the department will, of course, publish it consistent with the law, they said.
If we're talking about consistent with the law, didn't you publish most of these like a month late?
Oh, the fact that they're already
been
inconsistent
with the law.
So this relates to a woman that came forward and made specific allegations against Trump that are not reflected in the records that have been made public by the department. And as a member of Congress, Garcia is allowed to go and review those records. We talked last week how a number of members of Congress went in and searched specific things that were in the Epstein files and then talked about them to the press. And then the Justice Department had the searches, and Pam Bondi came with receipts saying, like, you searched for this, like what the fuck's wrong with you? I guess it's like it seems illegal to be monitoring. The people who are holding you accountable, like whatever. So Garcia said, quote, "We have seen the DOJ files and the archive manifest that clearly shows that the interviews and information around the survivor have been removed and are missing from the DOJ files," Garcia told reporters in New York. Where are these files? Who removed them? Those questions need to be answered. Pam Bondi told some lies about it. And then NPR was first reported that indexes and serial numbers in the files suggested that the FBI had conducted 4 interviews with this woman that they're referring to as unnamed in 2019 as part of its investigation into Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's jailed in 2022 for sex trafficking. So the FBI found her credible enough that she was involved in 4 separate interviews with the FBI and provided information to them, presumably that was included as part of the trial against Ghislaine Maxwell, for which she was convicted.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, this is while Trump was president as well.
Right,
So,
correct.
like, yeah, they, with everything we've heard over, like, the past 10 years of, like, the precedent being said of, like, we don't investigate sitting presidents or whatever, the DOJ. Like,
Right.
they interviewed this person 4 times while he was
Obviously,
president.
she was credible. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but 3 of the interview summaries and related notes, totaling more than 50 pages, are not available on the Justice Department's website, according to reports by NPR and the New York Times. The woman told federal agents that Epstein raped her as a minor in the early 1980s, according to one of the heavily redacted documents. According to other entries in the files, a woman, who Garcia said was confirmed in the unredacted documents to be the same person, alleged that she was sexually abused by Trump at some point between 1983 and 1985, when she would have been between the ages of 13 and 15. So this is a witness that the FBI has relied on to prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell. She also made accusations against Trump, saying that he raped her when she was a teenager, a child. And yet, none of this information has made it into the public disclosures. I wonder why. The completely forthright Justice Department, who's been so good at following the law and denied that there were any files whatsoever, denied that the files even exist. Pam Bondi said that the files, here are the files, here's phase 1 of the release of the files. They sent all these fucking social media influencers up to Capitol Hill and they were waving around binders going, here's phase 1 of the files. Then they say, actually, there's no files. Don't worry about the files. Who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? Then Congress says, we're going to vote to compel you to release the files. And Trump says, actually, I'm totally in support of everyone voting to release the files. So it's like, well, you could have just released them. You didn't need to be compelled. But now you're on the back foot and saying, yes, fine, release them because everyone's on board with this. And now they're saying, actually, what you thought was in the files is actually not in the files. None of it exists. It's just like, which lie are we expected to believe here? Like, are we at war with Eurasia now? I forget. Or is it Oceania? I keep forgetting.
It's even more crazy than that, I find, in that I've been listening to Behind the Bastards. I've mentioned them before on the show, but yeah, their podcast.
Great show.
Great show if you want to learn about the worst people who've ever existed. But they've done ones recently, like a 4-parter on latest revelations from the Jeffrey Epstein files, generally not about the sex crimes and more about just the other influences he's had. But one thing that the host of that podcast, Robert Evans, pointed out was that it's very clear that people have been going through the Epstein files to try and scrub them clean of Donald Trump, because a lot of instances of the word "don't" are redacted because
Yeah, we
they
talked
have
about this, yeah.
searched Don T.
Yes.
They've just done a Control F on references to Don, Donald, Don T, all that, and redacted those. So just there are these nonsense redactions in there.
But you're still, because they're so fucking lazy and there's so many fucking documents, you're still finding, people online are finding references to Trump, either obliquely in emails or like photos from Epstein's residence, and it contains a piece of a document that wasn't like, people are going real fucking internet sleuth on this stuff. There's no way that they can redact everything that implicates the president, because in my opinion, it seems like he is a bit of a sexual predator, given the numerous credible allegations of sexual assault against him. The fact that he said you can grab women by the pussy and they let you do it because you're, or when he talked about going behind the scenes of his Miss Teen America pageant and walking in while the girls are changing, and that you have to do it because you're the owner and you're inspecting the goods. I think there's enough evidence there at this point to confirm that the man is some sort of sexual predator, So clearly any effort that the DOJ is making has been to protect him and his friends, right? It's not, I don't think there's can there really be any debate about it at this point? Like, does anyone who's heard any of this, who's heard any of the facts that we've talked about on this show, and I'm not talking like the conspiracy theory YouTube stuff where it's like, you notice how there's no stuff around 2001, but that's because Jeffrey Epstein did the Brooks Brothers riot and flipped the election. I was like, I don't know about that. That seems a little bit. It's like the man is not, the man can't possibly be everywhere at once, the source of all evil, right? Like, but clearly the man engaged in an international sex trafficking ring, a pedophilia ring, and was deeply embedded with a number of extremely powerful, important, influential people. That is relevant. The fact that he was the best friend with the now president of the United States 10 years ago would have been enough of a scandal to sink everyone fucking associated with him. But now, because we live in the post-truth Trump, postmodernist conservative fact era, nothing matters. But it's like, if you just heard that in a book, the president of the United States was best friends with a pedophile who mysteriously died in prison,
And we all knew about it.
you'd be like, oh, that's a bit much. Like, that's too much.
People wouldn't accept that.
He died in the prison whilst he was the president. Like, I don't know. It just feels like it's a bit like over-egged. Like, I think you really need to dial it down a little bit. It's too conspiracy theory laden. Like,
Well, speaking of conspiracy theories, Trump still won't let the election thing go.
oh my God, this fucking guy,
and-
this loser.
They are coming up to the midterms in the United States, which means that Congress basically gets either partially or fully re-elected. I can't remember how it works.
Sorry,
exactly,
are we
but-
just going to dance past the Trump may have raped a 13-year-old girl? Like,
Yes,
are we
we
just
are. We're
going to
gonna
like,
dance
we're
past
just
that.
going to fucking
Yes.
move past that? Like, how do I
Because-
live
yes.
my life? How do I go to work
Just-
tomorrow?
You
What
have
are
to
you
accept
talking
it.
about?
Just you have to move. We have to move on.
I gotta do
We're
this.
46
I
minutes
gotta-
through. We have to move
I
on.
gotta do some emails now. The president might be a pedophile.
Yeah, be careful. Don't write any of that in your work emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I can actually make the meeting at 2:30. And by the way, Donald Trump might be a pedophile rapist.
Yeah. George, why did you tell our major client about the allegations
The
against the
difference
president?
is George is still surprised by this, which
I'm not
is-
surprised. I'm angry, dude. I'm so angry that this fucking piece of shit is the most powerful person in the world. And that millions, and I keep hearing this, oh, the American people are smart. They're not going to get taken in by Donald Trump. And I really think, are they? Are they that smart? Because 70 fucking million of you guys elected this cunt twice. 2 times.
And with the midterms coming up, that might be an interesting way.
You motherfucker! You motherfucker! All right, go, move on.
might be
move on.
an interesting
Live
way.
your life. It must be so
Oh.
nice to be able to just fucking compartmentalize all of this shit.
You got to, otherwise you just literally will have mental breakdown.
And-
What's happening in front of me right
And
now?
As some listeners may have noticed, George has moved his setup to what we the pod. He has
Doing
a
the pod in the
in
pod.
his
Podding
house.
in
He's
the pod.
He's podding
Pod
in
squared.
a pod. So he is now separate from the main house, and that means he is no longer concerned about waking his toddler child. Or
And my neighbors will suffer for it.
it. So
Yeah, the back
this
neighbors
is-
just like, what
yeah.
the fuck
What
is
the
happening?
fuck is
This
happening
is-
in there?
this
The
is
lights are all
George.
on. It's so bright. It's nighttime. What the fuck is he doing in there?
This is George off the chain again. It's been a while.
Welcome back. Anyway, so there's the midterms coming up. For fuck's sake. The midterms are coming up. And that means the White House is freaking out a little bit because, as it turns out, some of the things that they've done and are doing are probably fairly unpopular.
Yeah, Trump's underwater on most polls. I think
Yeah.
his popularity is somewhere
Yeah.
around the 30% range, 1933 range, and his popularity, particularly with regards to like particular issues on which he had formerly been quite strong, like national security, immigration, the economy, has plummeted. Like everyone fucking hates this dude at the moment. Why they couldn't have figured that out November 5th, rather than after they've put us into, the darkest timeline. I don't know. I can't tell you, but that's the way it is.
So we've reported on this show, it's been reported very broadly, that Donald Trump obviously was not happy with the 2020 election result.
Why? What happened?
No, he lost.
No, I heard he said he won, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. Recently, we talked about the fact that there was an FBI raid on another ballot counting area in Georgia, which is one of the states that was in, that they were crapping on about at the time. Bloody Tulsi Gabbard was there. It's like she
Rogue
shouldn't have
was
been there,
there.
and she was there. Everyone was there. Rogue was there. It's an X-Men reference for those people playing. at
Rogue
home.
has the same shock of white
Yep,
hair as
yep.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Just like me
Oh my
down the
God,
sides
she
of my head.
does.
Yeah.
Have you only just gotten onto that?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the game, Tom.
Thank you.
Hey Tom, it's so good having you on the pod. You're such a great guest.
Thanks. Wait, I'm a guest?
15-year long-running guest.
He's here every week.
This is a podcast.
Is this thing
I
on?
can't think straight. It's too late at night. Anyway, there are in flight to try and change some of the voting practices and the way Americans vote. Now, this
Which
has
is
been
that's such a nice way of characterizing trying
Well,
to
I'm just-
steal the midterms.
don't worry about it.
It's a journey.
So one of the things that Donald Trump has talked about is that, this is a repeated line, is that immigrants are voting and that the Chinese are hacking the voting machines. And
I thought it was the Venezuelans.
No, it's the Chinese.
Oh, this
It's
week he
the-
actually said
yeah.
it was the Iranians. That was part of his speech we skipped over. Was that, was that Venezuela?
wow.
The
Anyway,
Iranians, mate. It's
someone's
like, you gotta-
hacking
you gotta-
the voting machine.
You got to pick a conspiracy, mate. Like you can't just be you can't just take. It's not a choose your own adventure of fucking pick whatever conspiracy theory suits you at the moment.
One of the
right?
axis of evil. Like you've got to pick one of them. Anyway, so what he's trying to do is introduce legislation that will basically mean you've got to have voter ID cards and do away with voting machines. Now that's currently sitting between in Congress somewhere, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, but like.
Um,
So they've got an act in Congress. He's urging everyone to pass
Yeah.
it. That was a big part of his 2-hour fucking feature-length State of the Union the other day, which I listened to, and even at 2x speed was fucking
You listened to it?
exhausting. Yeah,
Why did you
at
do
2x speed? Because I do it
Why?
so you don't have to, Adam. I bear the whips, the slings and arrows of outrageous
why would you
fortune.
put yourself through that?
It was so. Oh god, I was just on the train going, "This fucking god, I can't fucking believe this." It's just seething, just at all the lies and the horseshit that.
Do
he
you
was
feel
talking about.
energized after the rage? Like, does the rage keep you? Like, do you
tell you
wake up
what,
and like do you
I
want
had-
to run a marathon after that? Like,
I had
where
great
do you go?
energy that day in the office. Tell you what, it fuels
Really?
me. It powers me. Yeah.
Sending those emails in an angry manner.
It honestly explains a lot.
Yeah.
Kind regards.
But in addition to that, backstep. By the way, like elections and the way elections are managed are state. It's a state thing.
It's a
So I
state
don't
thing,
know-
not a federal
I-
thing. Was
I don't
yeah, my
know-
point
yeah.
of bringing that up is he's got this one of the many acts that he's got before Congress is this voter ID thing, but yeah, you can't actually operationalize
like,
a lot of what
yeah,
he wants to do. And then he said, and if I don't get the act, I'll just do an executive order
Yes.
anyway. And it's like, that's
that's-
not how anything works. That gives you even
is-
less power to do what it is that you're trying to do. This is all nothing. None of this is anything.
This is the main story. Is that in the background they have drafted up an executive order to declare a state of emergency around the election process. Basically,
It's not a state of emergency if it's planned 9 months in advance.
And then basically that would.
Oh
give
my
you
God, she just got
powers.
pregnant. 9 months from now, it's going to be an emergency.
But like this is like one, it's like okay, strategically there's we don't want to lose the midterms, so let's try and flip the system to work in our favor. The second
that's
part
it.
of it is
No, that's it. That's the whole thing.
well, I also think like that's the Republicans, that's the people around him going, let's try and flip it. Then there's the I think he is just a conspiracy brain.
Could we try
narcissist.
having popular policies instead? No. It's better that we steal democracy and change the function
Yeah.
of how everything works to suit only us.
I think at the end of the day, it's just his narcissism and conspiracy brain that won't let it go, and the rest of the Republican machinations around him are actually just taking advantage of that.
Just enabling it. But yeah, he wants,
Evergreen
he wants
statement,
to be a
really,
king,
about
so-
Donald Trump. Whenever he does something that's cooked, you just go,
Well,
it's his narcissism and the Republicans are enabling it. That's
I
an
honestly,
evergreen statement.
I honestly think this whole Iran thing is like Hegseth and Rubio just like getting in a room together and just
Yeah,
making
Rubio and Lindsey Graham
sweet
just
love.
69
Just
69
sweet
each other. Just oh god, it's incredible. Let's go after Cuba next. I'm fucking having one.
Sorry, Tom. We're gonna say something. I cut you off.
Oh no, it's just like like Trump is just doing all this. He's currently living like he's a king, and he wants to remain a king because as long as he's the president and in charge, he won't go to jail. Like
Yeah.
it's like that's what's sort of been shown, right?
It's another
So-
motivation. Yeah, it's another strong
Yeah.
motivation, right? Is that like, as
Yeah.
soon as I'm not the president, like a lot of this power that I've got goes away,
He knows
as
as soon as
experienced
he-
last time.
As soon as he loses Congress, like his ability to legislate is effectively finished. He'll get impeached again for whatever the crime du jour is that he's committed. Like it basically grinds the effectiveness of the administration to a halt, and that's why people are like psyched to vote for Democrats in November. Like that's the selling point.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but they were like, I think someone on the Republican side was like, if we lose the House, it's the end of the Trump presidency. And so many people were like, don't fucking threaten me with a good time.
Oh, okay,
Like, I find your
maybe I will come out
terms
and vote.
acceptable.
Yes.
Speaking of terms being acceptable, Paramount is set to acquire Warner Brothers Studios for 111 billion.
John Oliver's gonna have a new business daddy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we talked about this a lot last year when sort of the news dropped that Netflix had the winning bid to buy Warner Brothers for something like 82 billion US dollars or something like that. So to get their hands on, Warner Brothers. So that's like DC movies, that's HBO, or like I believe CNN. No.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, they have CNN.
Yes.
Yes,
okay,
they do,
have
and
CNN.
we'll talk about it in a sec. But I think that's
yeah.
one of the primary motivators for all of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
So so CNN. Oh no, that's right. I was mixing it up with CBS because, as for what happens now is that Paramount came in, even though Warner Brothers were like, sick, Netflix, $86 billion, sounds good. But then Paramount was like, hey, I know you guys have already said yes to a thing, but what about $111 billion?
Yeah, so they engaged in hostile takeover tactics,
yeah.
and the thing is there with those kind of acquisitions is that you, as the owners of the business, they are kind of compelled.
selling.
They have a fiduciary responsibility to get the best result for the shareholders, right?
Yeah.
They have a legal responsibility to get the maximum amount of money possible.
Maximize
So-
shareholder
Value. It's gone so great historically when people only think about maximizing shareholder value and nothing else. So what it means is that you can get these things called hostile takeovers, where if a company comes in and they want to buy a company, even if that company doesn't want to be bought, if you bring enough resources to bear and overpay enough, they're kind of like compelled to at a certain
Yeah,
point.
you got to Kendall Roy that shit.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's literally like the final season of Succession, right? So the idea is that Larry Ellison and his son David Ellison,
Of Paramount.
of Paramount, who are very closely affiliated with the Trump administration, want to acquire Warner Brothers, not just because it would expand their media empire and the sort of control that they're able to exert as a essential monopolist in the American sort of cinema landscape, but it also comes with the slight side benefit of acquiring CNN. Now, CNN is one of the few, I want to say, nominally like center-left voices in American news media in the kind of the legacy apparatus that's still functional. CBS, which was acquired by Paramount, they had Barry Weiss installed in as their head of, and she's like a fairly conservative sort of right-wing commentator who's now running their legacy media organization over there.
They cancelled Colbert just to appease Trump.
Exactly right, to make that merger go through. So clearly the Ellisons are very closely tied to Trump, and acquiring CNN, and they have this real emphasis on speed. The Ellisons talk about getting the deal done quickly. And part of me thinks, why does it need to be done quickly for you to take control of CNN? And it's like, well, could it be about the midterms? Like, quite possibly. You've got one of your friendliest billionaire mates taking over one of the few news networks that's happy to call you out on a regular basis. You've got people like Anderson Cooper and things like that getting moved on, who are, massive draws for CNN, right? Massive anchors over there. You've got this real exodus of talent. I don't think it's conspiratorial to say, I think they're looking to influence media in the lead up to the November midterm elections.
I don't think
right?
that's the sole election, a sole
Reason.
motivation.
But no, but definitely.
Well, the
like,
Netflix
I
bid
think
didn't
the
include
actual
CNN.
motivation.
The
is
Netflix
the
bid
fact-
didn't include CNN, right? The Netflix, they wanted to acquire Warner Brothers, and there was a whole discussion at the time. Is like, is this good for cinema? Is this good, to have so much
Yes,
consolidated
correct.
under one company and blah blah blah. This is the worst option because you still get all of that media consolidation stuff, and you get one of the most powerful news networks in in America, controlled by this group of far-right billionaires who clearly have their own agenda and have strong connections with the Trump administration, right?
and have
Like,
wielded it.
I don't, is it the primary motivator? No, it's the whole package. But like, is it convenient for them that they get to take
It's
over
convenient. Yeah.
one of the only nominally center left sort of news networks in America right before the midterms? I think it's convenient. They're definitely happy that it goes through quick.
I don't know whether or not they do get the deal done quickly remains to be seen. It's
Got to go through regulators in Europe, all over the place. So, but
there's
like
a
green light from the Trump administration, like Trump was shit talking the Netflix deal, like right from the start. So, presumably with Paramount at the helm, with his mates at the helm, that approval will now sail right through, even though it's a even more fulsome consolidation of the media apparatus. Like, obviously, he's not interested in antitrust because it's an even worse antitrust position than the Netflix acquisition, right?
maybe cinema is saved? Question mark.
No.
Don't.
No,
Maybe
it
we
is
can go
not.
and maybe we can go see some live dance instead. Potentially the Shen Yun Group.
Oh,
which is
you son of a
dance
bitch.
group,
Well done.
that is associated with Falun Gong, which is a spiritual movement originating in China, but is currently banned by the CCP in China. Why are we talking about them? Well, they were scheduled to do a dance in Canberra and various other areas around Australia. They're doing a tour. And
See the billboards everywhere.
there was a bomb threat that was called in to the lodge in Canberra. They're like, if you dance, we're gonna blow up the lodge.
You can
Yeah.
dance if you want to.
And the river will run.
can leave your friends behind.
Red, I think was the actual quote. In which case they searched the lodge and the prime minister was evacuated, and everything was okay.
And the CCP has obviously denied any
They've
involvement.
denied all involvement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the
They've
fact
denied
that, like,
all- yeah.
everywhere these guys go around the world, there's
Yeah.
like people calling in bomb threats at the places that they're doing
Every
shows every time.
single time.
Yeah. And like the only people who would be mad at them for doing that would be the CCP. So it's
Yeah, like the CCP have denied all involvement, but also in that denial, made sure to mention that these people are a cult who spread lies about the CCP.
And to be fair, they are a cult.
it is a
Yeah,
bit culty.
yeah,
It is
so-
a little
yeah.
culty, to be
But
fair.
like the fact that they like not just denying it, but also were like, yeah, they're also huge pieces of shit who lie about us, and
they're just trying to misrepresent China and trying to make money off it. It's like, I mean, like,
like
dance.
any-
I mean,
like-
making money off things is not a crime, but also like, it's you're not making a lot of money with dance, like as a rule.
Meanwhile,
we're not talking like Larry Ellison Oracle money, right? We're talking about dance money. It's
Meanwhile,
not-
the entire like region of Bali is just like, oh, what is that? Is that a bad thing with me? Like everyone, like this is
Yeah.
something that everyone does in different parts of the world. They sell their culture, right? That's part of what.
It's
people
part
do.
of the tension
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
maintaining your local culture, but also being like a tourist destination. Is
Yeah.
that you need to navigate that
Yeah.
complexity of
And it-
how do we hang on to who we really are, but also
Yeah.
we want people to come here and spend money. It's like a very famously explored in the White Lotus series, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And in this case here, like Falun Gong are, sort of I guess excommunicated. Chinese. It's a Chinese movement, but
I remember reading
banned.
something about how
Yeah.
followers of theirs were like. Arrested in China and their organs were harvested and like crazy
It's
sort
really
of shit.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
And they are a little bit like there's an article here in the it's an article within the article that we'll share on our show notes, but there's some really sort of like any religious movement.
weird details.
Yeah, some weird stuff that they do.
Yeah. I just found just the way this story unfolded to us as the public fascinating because it was just like a news alert came through last Sunday, so it was happened about a week ago, where it was like the Prime Minister has been moved to an undisclosed location due to a possible security breach at the lodge. And you're like, what?
Whoa.
What? Like,
What?
is this an assassination attempt on the Prime Minister? Like, what the fuck's going on? And then, like, there was not some crazy live feed giving us minute-to-minute updates. We're just waiting for a bit. And then I see the article is like, a bomb threat was called into the lodge. The bomb threat was reported to the AFP by the Shenyun performing group. And I was like, I've heard that name before. And then all the billboards came flooding back to me where I was like, wait, that dance show that's happening, isn't that connected to a cult? And then I kept reading it and be like, what? And they said, yeah, that the dance group got a phone call being like, if you dance, we'll blow up the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Not we'll blow you up, we'll blow up the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, huh? I thought you'd threatened to blow up the venue that we're all in, but you're saying
Yeah.
you'll blow up the leader of the country. Huh?
It's like
And then they
yeah,
called
so
the
like
AFP.
you'll go to like position X, so we'll blow up position Y, and
Yeah, it's like, if you perform your dance show, we will destabilize this country.
Yeah.
Is like a crazy threat. And
They
so
got to
called-
respond to.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like an
They
email.
called
It's
the
like the
AFP.
lowest cost fucking
Well, that's the thing, the Shenyun
operation that
people-
one could run. Right, is just send a shitty anonymous email. Right.
Yeah, and the Shenyun people called the Australian Federal Police and were like, hey, could be nothing.
Funny
But
story.
Someone said they've put a whole bunch of nitroglycerin around the Prime Minister's residence.
What's it?
You might-
Crash Bandicoot? Nitroglycerin?
wanna
What are you
check
talking
that
about?
out.
I said
like-
that was a Milito, yeah.
Yeah, there's like glowing green cubes just
Yeah.
lining the
Like
walls.
wildfire in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, just crazy. I was like, oh, I'd heard this group, there's a controversy between them and the Chinese Communist Party, but, huh? Like,
So
that's
the
I kind
point-
of want to go and see the dance now. I want to go and
know,
watch
it's-
it. Yeah,
It's interesting.
like-
Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said China consistently opposes all forms of violent attacks, lol, when asked by ABC News to respond to the threats. Quote, it must be pointed out that the so-called Shenyun performance is not a normal cultural activity at all. You guys think it's just going to be dance. It's going to fucking blow your mind. But a political tool used by the Falun Gong organization to spread cult information and amass wealth, the spokeswoman said. In recent years, the so-called Shenyun performing arts troupe's systematic abuse, illegal employment, and mind control of its staff have been repeatedly exposed. Now, if there's one group that's going to do mind control on their citizens, it's us, the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, we're in the mind control game. That's our patch. Okay?
I was more
Don't
thinking
need other
like,
mind controllers coming in and making up their own rules.
I was more thinking like, geez, I mean, the three of us, all definitely know that musical theater groups are cliquey as fuck. But
radicalizes
mind
people?
control?
Mind control? I
Mind
don't know.
control cult? They're all just fucking each other, guys. Like, it's not mind control.
It really makes this performance sound incredible.
I want to go watch it.
I want to see it now. This is not on my radar at all.
We're booking tickets.
Go see this show, and you will come out an enemy of the People's Republic.
An enemy of the
China.
state.
I'm not
I'm
sure
not, I'm not
whether.
saying we did it, but we definitely didn't do it. But mind control.
Speaking of mind control, Peter Dutton has
Failed
has
to
been in
mind
the news
control the
again.
Australian populace
Yes.
on election
Yes, he
day.
Back in the news again. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago that he made the comment that if the Liberal Party released their 2025 election loss review, that it could be defamatory. And the Liberal Party
Aren't
have
you the one to
listened-
decide that, Peter? Whether it is
They've-
defamatory?
They've listened.
I don't know.
they've
It could
learned-
be. Someone might feel a little suey. I don't know. Feeling a bit cheeky today.
The Liberal Party has listened and learned and decided not to release their 2025 review. They did release their review into the 2022 election loss.
It's
but they
it's pretty
decided
common
not
to release them publicly
25.
because donors and people want to know, like, hey, I gave you all this money.
How'd you
fuck it
spend
up?
How'd you fuck it up?
You
What are
guys not
gonna
gonna fuck it up next
To
time?
not do it.
Exactly.
I love the photo they've chosen for this article in the ABC of just Dutton pulling such a kind of expression and a thing. He's like, we're not releasing it. Mwah.
That's the closest thing he gets to a smile is those kind of like slightly pursed lips.
Pursed lips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah. So a lot of
We'll never
speculation
know.
around. Well, a lot of speculation though
What could have
around
caused
what's in there.
What could have caused their massive historic election loss? Nobody knows.
No, but apropos of nothing, Angus Taylor, I think, did say that nuclear does have to be a part of their platform going forward.
I couldn't agree more, Angus.
Those two
That should
things-
absolutely be part of your totally,
Yeah.
absolutely going to get up platform. Yep.
Yeah, are those two things connected? Who's to say?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether they actually talk about the policies or whether it's just more around the logistics of how to run an election campaign. Maybe both,
From
yeah.
reporting that was talking about what was in the report, so no, obviously no one's seen it.
It's guesswork.
firsthand,
When we
right.
say
But, like,
we're reporting, guesswork.
People are texting furiously to Patricia Carvelis about it. It sounds like that there's material in there which directly, sort of makes
Angus Taylor and
makes
Yeah.
specific senior members of the Liberal Party look bad, namely Angus Taylor, Susan Ley, other senior members of the opposition government. So Ms. Goward, one of the report's authors, insisted the document would survive a legal challenge and said the party's new leader, Mr. Taylor, would be the first and most obvious loser, unquote, from the decision not to publish it. Mr. Taylor has started out well.
I think we knew that already.
Debatable, Ms. Goward. But he will be blamed for wanting to cover up, she said in an opinion piece published in the Australian Financial Review. That's how you know she's a Liberal Party person. The party and its leaders, current and future, cannot learn from the mistakes of the past if they do know what they are. The decision will disappoint many of the party's membership and support base, to say nothing of some very angry donors, as I mentioned, who to this day do not understand how their money was wasted. She said it was written without weasel word or euphemism, providing clear evidence-based examples of, this is the key part, poor decision-making and execution to back up its conclusions. So it sounds like, from what she said there, that there's specific personal critiques about the decisions that were made during the campaign and how things were executed and how that reflected poorly on the final results, right? In the final results. So
You mean the really well thought through and strategic campaign that was may have had some undue influence from key members where they reacted poorly and indecisively and incoherently to various issues of the day.
acknowledging the famously terrible shambles of a campaign that was the Dutton 2024 25 election campaign. Yeah, clearly the poor decision making and lack of any sort of financial nous and
I mean, higher taxes was a great.
higher
it's a great
taxes for
way.
the Liberal Party is that's a hard sell.
It's always popular.
Yeah. So it's I don't think there's any doubt to my mind that the senior members of the Liberal Party that were in that,
reckon
that
everyone's
shadow
read it, though?
government
Like,
and
the
are
thing
now
is that-
still senior members of the opposition are obviously key figures that were responsible. Like there was reporting that came out at the time, like Peter Dutton wasn't, sort of shooting from the hip and not listening to any of the strategists and doing their own thing. and
Policy
running
on
it.
the run, perhaps?
Policy on the run and campaign, this grievance style, kind of like Trumpy politics that he was looking to sort of, engage with, that kind of rage bait. It just doesn't work really here in Australia, or at least it didn't then.
Not as much.
Maybe next time round with Pauline, who knows? Well, I've got something to tell you something today.
No.
I'm the Prime Minister.
I do wonder if the report hasn't been released, like has everyone read it?
No.
Or is
Everyone
it-
in Canberra
or
is
is it-
very good at keeping these sorts of secrets. This will never come to light. What we should do is bury it deep down inside.
Because my point being is if they're meant to learn from it, but only certain people have
no
read
learning
it.
needed.
What's
Don't
the
worry.
point?
Yeah.
It's almost like you spend a bunch of money on something no one's ever going to read. But anyway,
Well, that doesn't sound like the Liberal Party at all.
They should tuck it into the menu at Public Bar in Monaco. they'll all read it then.
just pop it in under
Yeah.
the drinks menu.
Can
just
I get
as
a bourbon and
insert.
Coke? And Peter Dutton is a fuckhead. Oh, what's this?
We spoke about higher taxes before, and the Albanese government may be considering some changes to negative gearing and capital gains tax, according
Maybe
to
we're
reports.
gonna float a balloon to say that we might be potentially considering changes of a small nature in May about capital gains taxes.
Oh, I was
Unless
gonna
you
say,
don't
yeah.
want that, in which case don't worry about it.
Is it let's check my watch. Is it far enough from an election
Yeah.
that we can talk about maybe changing negative gearing?
Can we change negative gearing? Maybe
Where
some
we have
capital gains
enough
tax?
time to convince people that we're not going to do it if this blows in our face.
Yeah, and if you guys hate it, then we never were going to do it, and it's terrible. But if you love it, maybe we're here for it.
Just
Who knows?
holler out. Just
floating
give
a
us
balloon.
Hit like and subscribe. You know?
Treasury does all this kind of modeling. They're just modeling away. It's like we don't
Modeling.
even know what the fuck they're doing over there. It's like, whoa,
It's
you
just
guys
model railways everywhere.
models can't help
Planes,
themselves.
cars, little
You know,
models.
it's like the Epstein house, just models everywhere.
Yeah, we know you
Lego.
guys like high-speed rail to Newcastle, but if that high-speed rail was changes to negative gearing, how would you feel about it then?
Yeah, we all know how large departments of the Treasury team up on projects and do extensive financial modeling that takes weeks or months for ideas that no one has suggested.
For fun.
What are you guys doing in here? This is capital gains or some of the laws here? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Look at this graph.
This is gonna kill us. What are you doing?
So Insiders was interesting this morning. They were trying to. They're like we have to talk about the things that were in the script, but also there's a war on, and we don't know what to talk about. And they were just like going. It was chaos. Anyway, one of the things though that they were talking about was what is being floated. And again, Insiders is funny because they all get all these backgrounded, off the record information, and everyone's talking about it. But so
Barnaby Joyce is sending me something on the text line. No, it's just a dick pic. I must have done a wrong number again.
So what they're saying is they would wind back the 50% capital gains discount. So what that means is when you sell a house, you are meant to pay the tax on the growth of that asset, right? Or the profit
But if you hold an asset for more than 12 months, then you pay a discounted rate of tax on the gains on that asset, right?
So they
on the
want
profit.
they want to wind that back, right? That was a thing that the Howard government brought in.
Good, because it will contribute billions of dollars to the economy and do nothing to negatively affect housing affordability. And it's a giveaway that the government has been doing for decades for no reason. So good. And may have directly contributed to be one of the reasons that we had this housing price influx in the first place under Howard.
No,
but
the
like,
graph,
'cause you
the
can see the graph
timeline
where
between.
it's like-
No, don't worry about the graph, George.
You
Don't
can look at
worry
the
about
graph.
it.
You can look at the graph where it's like capital gains tax discount, and then that's when the house price started going.
No, it's just a correlation. There's no causation there.
Yeah.
There was more money in the
George,
it's-
as the old saying goes, this is an incredibly famous saying we've all
Fuck
heard.
John Howard.
Numbers lie all the time.
Yes, famously so.
You can't trust numbers.
Yeah, numbers always lie. I think
sometimes
that's the-
like a
yeah.
6 looks like a 9 if you turn it upside down. Like it's
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
The other policy is negative gearing. Negative gearing. The policy is that.
Fucking get him. This is what I've been fucking hoping for. Fuck yeah, boys.
Is-
Let's go.
So, and there'd be a modest change to negative gearing, which would be
No.
you can't negative gear unlimited properties. You can only negative gear 2 properties.
Apparently, that's not been confirmed.
This is what. But this is what is being discussed. This is what everyone is texting Patricia Carbelis and David Spears. This is what everyone.
Treasury just makes stuff up. They're such clowns. They're such goofballs. What are you guys doing?
Obviously,
over
they've done
there?
some modeling on it, and they're thinking
Yes.
that. Now,
Yeah.
this is the important.
Because if you
part.
got
So-
more than 2 properties, you're fine, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's negative gearing is the idea that
Yeah.
if you make a loss on the income on your rental property, so you're a landlord, you own a property, it costs you whatever it is, $30,000 a year to pay the loan on this property, and you're only getting $20,000 a year in rent. Well, then you take the difference, that $10,000, and you declare it against your income. Right? It's a tax write-off, right?
Yeah.
So the people that generally are able to best take advantage of these kinds of concessions are wealthy working professionals. So the percentage of occupations that soak up most of the capital gains money, you can see this on a graph, surgeons, lawyers, etc., because they have professional income that they can declare this money against and take a loss on it. And why would you want to have a loss-making asset? Well, because the way house prices go is in 5, 10, 15 years, the price of that asset is likely to double. You sell it, make a big capital gain, Bob's your uncle, right? And if
Sweet
not,
50%.
and
discount
you
on
get
that
discounted
capital gain.
tax throughout, and then you get the discounted tax concession on the capital, on the profit that you make on that disposal, on the sale of the house. you pay less tax on it than
Yeah.
you would,
Yeah.
you know, if you just
So-
earned income, right? So it's like the government's like giving you a bit of a hand job at both ends of the, like it gives you a
Yeah.
bit of a hand job throughout, and then a little special hand job at the end with the capital gains tax discount. And so the Australian public is subsidizing millionaires and billionaires owning, you know,
Many properties.
many properties.
Mum and dad investors,
No,
George.
except
And
it
this is-
isn't. Except
but
it
this is-
isn't, and there's
but
fact,
this
and there's
is-
data on this, so it isn't. But like,
But-
you know,
but-
so but it goes to the wealthiest people. People own dozens, hundreds of properties that they're negatively gearing in this way. Like, what it does is it incentivizes investors and pushes up the prices, which means
Hmm.
that people can no longer afford to buy single owner occupier homes for themselves because they're outcompeted by wealthy
It's
investors.
going to stop construction. No, look.
It's
so
the
what
immigrants.
I
It's
was
the
trying
one- It's the
to.
brown guy that's renting a house. That's the problem. It's not that fucking BlackRock owns 5% of the housing stock. That's not a problem.
So Labor took these policies to the 2016 and 2019 elections and,
And
lost
we
both.
loved them.
Lost handily, partly because the Liberals were quite successful in arguing that it would hurt mum and dad investors, basically. Now, the thing was, Bill Shorten said he was going to spend all that money on healthcare and education, which not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but what they're talking about, again, this is all sort of speculation about what may be in the budget.
We're not going to do it unless you like it.
What this would be paired with, so they would do away with some of this, or they'd water down some of these tax incentives in exchange for lower income tax.
Here for it. Love it. Great.
So the concept being is, I guess they would still somehow have to make a little bit of money somewhere in the scheme. I don't know how the cash
exact
flow
numbers
works. But like, I'm assuming there must be some difference where they would be able to offer a percentage of lower income tax.
do like
in
another part
in
of stage
exchange-
3, stage 4 tax cuts, right?
Stage
Where-
7 tax. I don't know. But
We
Yeah.
leave so much money, billions and billions of dollars every
Yeah.
year on the table because we are not taxing these assets the way that some other countries do. And to create a demand subsidy at taxpayers' expense for the housing market, which is already overheated, clearly makes no sense. Like, we don't need any more demand in the housing market. So anything we can do to suck some of that demand out is not going to make the housing market go backwards, because housing market doesn't go backwards in Australia, as we've learned, at least not in recent times. All it's going to do is slow the pace of growth and maybe give people a bit of breathing room to catch up to be able to buy and afford their own first homes. That's all we're talking about, is slowing the rate of growth marginally and recovering tens of billions of dollars back into the budget, which we can spend on cool shit for helping people. Like,
Nah, more submarines.
no more submarines. Don't talk to me about the fucking submarines.
it may look. There is a possibility that this kind of thing could affect housing supply in the sense that it discourages investment in new housing supply. For instance, I've used to work for a builder where, the people buying the dwellings were investors. So if it's not going to financially work out for them, they may not invest.
But then home buyers will be able to, like, the amount of
but the point
home
being is, like,
buyers
some of
that are out there that want to be able to afford to buy these
Yeah.
places, but they're getting outcompeted by investors.
I'm
is
talking
substantial.
about-
like the
I'm
percentage of
talking
home ownership in
about-
Australia, particularly
no.
for our generation compared to other generations, is much lower
I'm
than
talking
it otherwise
about
would be, right?
greenfields and high-rise investments, which are a little different to what we're talking about here. So it depends. It depends exactly on, how some of this housing supply is set up and the where the demand is. I guess the question will be, is like, if we just start tacking, let's say we're talking about a suburb that's being tacked on to the northeast.
But the reason
outer
housing
northeast of
investors want to
Melbourne.
buy
Hang on,
these
hang on.
properties
George,
is because
George,
people will
let him
rent
finish.
there because
Listen
they
to
want to
me.
live there.
Well,
they want to,
not
so it's
necessarily.
indicative of the same kind of demand that you would have for buyers, right?
But the rents out there are a lot cheaper. So whether or not people still have the capital, and like
You're still renting, bro?
yeah, I am.
Yeah, and it's real cheap, is it? Would you describe it as real as
Not
cheap?
not where we are. But
Yeah. My point being is,
But
that
if you're moving out of the rental sector and into the housing sector because you're an owner, then that will
construction
similarly
costs
reduce
won't
the
go
demand on rent
backwards,
as well. Because if
though.
every renter becomes an owner, then the demand that comes into the housing market will equal exactly the amount of demand that comes out of the rental market. Would it not?
It doesn't quite work like that. And I'm talking about like this is
You're
like
sounding a lot like a property investor, Adam. You've got a lot of properties that you're not telling
I'm just
us about.
saying.
What's going on,
I'm
buddy?
just saying it's not a silver bullet. Is my point.
No,
These
but
things I would
help.
welcome, but I'm just saying
There's zoning, there's other
there may
things that
be
we need to
flow-on
do,
effects,
sure.
but there also may be flow-on effects that we don't expect, which
Hey, the status quo is the
But-
government is spending
but-
billions of dollars
and this-
every
this
year
is my
subsidizing a tax break for
Just
fucking
let me finish,
millionaires.
man. Fuck.
So-
My point being is, yes, the status quo isn't working, so let's try something different. But I'm
Agree.
not saying it's going to be smooth sailing and it's all going to work out great, because in certain situations,
When have
it
I
may
ever
not.
said? When have I ever? What fucking straw man are you compiling here? Oh yeah, we get rid of negative gearing. It's all going to be fucking smooth sailing. No, but it would be a start. Can we stop punching ourselves in the head? Yeah, sure, we could stop. Like that, it won't. It won't not give me. Yeah, it won't reverse the brain damage, but it would be better to stop doing the bad thing. Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to go to bed now. Let's wrap up.
On that
Yes,
note.
yeah, speaking of stopping doing bad things.
On that note, we will stop podcasting. We have been and always will be Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com, and make sure you'll follow us at our... oh, fuck, how do I normally do this? Make sure you follow us on all the bullshit social medias that have, do, or ever will exist at Unnatural Show. That's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and mother flipping TikTok, on which we are getting roasted in the comments. Make sure you follow
Yes.
me on Instagram and TikTok at George Tsipos.
You can follow me on Threads at tom.heath.
And you can follow me down to the local development...
Local
in
Greenfield
my
site.
Gravel
You're
Greenfield site.
going to be testing some soil.
Going to be just doing a few samples and putting in my bid. Oh wait, no, it's
You got outbidded by a property investor. I got to go drop a sample now. All right, love you guys. See you next week.